In the past, I found myself in an extremely frustrating position where bills would accumulate, and I had no funds to pay them off. It is a familiar scenario, and if you have been through it, you understand how stressful and overwhelming it can be. However, with time, I managed to escape this predicament, and you can do the same. In this video, I will share valuable tips, tricks, and strategies that can help you overcome this challenge and enhance your personal finances. So, stick around. Before we delve into the topic, please hit the subscribe and like buttons as it boosts the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. Let's get started. Keep track of your spending. Although you might have heard this advice numerous times, it remains valid because most people do not follow it. Your priority should be accounting for every penny spent. By tracking expenses, you can identify and eliminate inefficient spending patterns in your financial life. Moreover, it promotes better financial practices such as saving and investing. In the words of Peter Drucker, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So, start analyzing your spending categories to determine which ones are essential. You might discover that you are paying for subscriptions that you don't need, which can help cut back on non-essential expenses. You can also opt for less expensive activities now that you know where your money is going. Tracking your spending is an excellent way to save money and educate yourself on financial matters. 2. Creating a budget. Until recently, I did not understand why most people do not have a budget. Completing a budget may seem like a daunting task, but it is worth it. Instead of looking at the paperwork, focus on the benefits of having a budget. Once you get into the rhythm, ensure that you stick to it. I have found that this is the only way that works. Avoid storing your budget away in a file or folder. It becomes useless. Constantly review and update it, and you can use digital apps and software to simplify the task. You can find free budgeting tools online with a quick search. 3. Give yourself a limit on unbudgeted spending. If you have a habit of making impulsive purchases, give yourself a limit on unbudgeted spending. Buying something on the spur of the moment may be emotionally satisfying, but that feeling is fleeting, leaving you with unnecessary and unwanted purchases. The bitter pill to swallow is that this has to stop. It is the opposite of good money habits. Try using the 1% rule for discretionary spending on items that you desire but do not require. Wait a day before buying anything that costs more than 1% of your yearly gross income. For instance, if you earn $60,000 annually, wait for a day before purchasing anything over $600. The 24-hour cooling off period gives you time to reconsider your purchase. Take an additional day to think about whether you really need the item. After 24 hours, you might not want it anymore. The next time you go shopping, remember to try this practical wisdom. 4. Save for big purchases. When it comes to making big purchases, it's important to exercise caution and avoid making hasty decisions. Rather than immediately pulling out your credit card to purchase that expensive 90-inch flat-screen TV, consider the 24-hour rule suggested by experts. If you still want the item after 24 hours, it's worth considering how you can pay for it without going into debt. One way to save for big purchases is to set up a separate savings account dedicated to that specific item. By saving up and paying cash, you may be able to negotiate a lower price or better financing terms. Alternatively, if the purchase has appreciating value, such as a home, it may make sense to take out a loan. However, be sure to carefully evaluate your ability to make timely payments and avoid dipping into your savings or investment accounts. 5. Read books about finance. Financial literacy is a crucial skill for anyone looking to achieve financial stability and make wise decisions with their money. Reading books about finance can be an excellent way to learn about budgeting, saving, investing, and borrowing. The more you learn, the more empowered you will feel to take control of your financial destiny. 6. Lower your monthly bills. One of the simplest ways to save money is to cut back on your monthly spending. While you may not be able to reduce certain fixed costs like rent or car payments, you can save on variable costs such as clothes or entertainment. By being adaptable and thinking creatively, you can find ways to lower your energy bills, insurance premiums, and grocery costs. It's also important to avoid taking out loans or credit cards simply because you are eligible. Instead, evaluate your income and other monthly obligations to determine whether you can afford the payments. Remember, just because a bank approves you for a loan doesn't mean it's the best decision for your financial health. 7. Eat at home. Eating out can be expensive, especially if you do it frequently. By preparing meals at home, you can save a significant amount of money and even improve your health. Consider making a weekly meal plan and sticking to it, even if you don't consider yourself a great cook. There are countless resources available online for recipe ideas and cooking tips, so don't be afraid to experiment. 8. Eradicate your debts. The burden of debts, particularly on credit cards with high interest rates, can be financially draining. If you aim to enhance your financial situation and broaden your financial prospects, it is crucial to pay off your debts as soon as possible. Make a list of all your existing debts, including credit card debts, student loan debts, and vehicle loans, and calculate the minimum payments you need to make for each. Simply making the minimum payments will not help you get rid of the debt quickly, so take into account your fixed expenses and allocate a portion of your discretionary spending budget to pay off the debt. You can also consider negotiating a lower interest rate with the creditor, consolidating several loans into one, or transferring high-interest debt to a low-interest credit card like a balance transfer card. Then, develop a repayment strategy and adopt responsible spending habits to pay off the debt as quickly as possible. The faster you pay off your debt, the larger your monthly budget will be. Paying off credit card debts should be your top priority, as unlike your automobile or house payment, credit card debt increases with time and is difficult to reduce. 9. Avoid using credit cards. While credit cards can be a handy tool for building credit and managing expenses, they can also be a double-edged sword, especially for those lacking self-control. If you find yourself relying on credit cards to make ends meet each month, you might be headed towards a debt trap. This can restrict your ability to pay your bills, save for retirement, or achieve other financial objectives. To take control of your finances, stop using credit cards. In addition to creating a budget that eliminates the need for credit, consider using cash or debit cards instead of credit, opening a short-term savings account to finance significant purchases, or leaving your credit cards at home. Credit cards carry high interest rates that can quickly lead to debt accumulation if not used wisely, causing significant stress during emergencies. Relying solely on credit cards to cover expenses can become a bad habit for some people, leaving them with limited options to pay their bills after deducting their expenses like food, rent, mortgage, and other necessary expenses. Therefore, it is essential to stop using credit cards and develop the maturity to handle them wisely. 10. Go on a spending fast. If you are struggling with credit card debts, difficulties paying bills on time, or other financial issues, a spending fast might be just what you need to improve your financial health. Essentially, a spending fast involves refraining from making any discretionary purchases for a specified period. This can be a fantastic way to reduce spending and get your finances in order. Although it may sound challenging, it does not have to be. Similar to the well-known detox or cleansing fasts for the body, where individuals give up sugar or gluten for 30 days or survive on fruit or vegetable juices for a few weeks, fasting or cleansing procedures can be employed to improve spending and saving habits. Typically, these are month-long periods during which spending is restricted, and only categories like food, transportation, and recurring expenses are allowed. By committing to this challenge, you can live simply for a while, boost your bank account, alter your behavior, and learn to distinguish between needs and wants. It can even transform your perspective on money. By implementing these simple strategies, you can take control of your finances and start saving for the things that matter most to you. With patience, discipline, and a commitment to your financial health, you can achieve financial stability and peace of mind.